What up? Good morning, everybody. Y'all doing? Hopefully, y'all better than me this morning because I am very, very tired. So, first of all, first of all, uh, what I need. I am very, 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 very open-minded and friendly to jokes. I love to joke around, but there is some serious tone to this video nonetheless, that which I would like to explicify. Before we begin anything, we must speak of something that says whatever then. Jesus. So basically we need to talk about one thing, essentially methamphetamine. But before anything, before we start talking about these drugs, I must clarify, I don't condone drug use. I try not to glorify it, but essentially experiences with every drug that I speak of on this channel essentially could lead to the false impression of what I mean to interpret. And that being said, don't take anything I say as, oh, it's because he said it. Don't take it as I'm recommending this shit, because this shit is fucking bad. I do this shit for y'all, but like, y'all gotta understand one thing. Drug addiction ain't no fucking joke. Meth is a hell of a fucking drug. And am I on it? No, I'm not on it. Kind of wished I never tried it. Hey, positive message, okay? Yes, I have tried it. That's why you see me smoking in my fucking room. I wouldn't smoke inside my room unless I gave two shits about my own livelihood. Ah. But this kind of helps me cope with the fact that I don't smoke that shit right now. I'm not gonna say never, because one, I've already tried it. Two, you know, when you say never and you end up actually doing that shit that you say, oh, I'll never do that shit. I'll never do that shit again. And you end up doing that shit? Come on now. Like, stop making false promises. I don't promise you anything, because I don't promise it. Alright? So, meth is a hell of a drug. Okay, so here are 1 to 2 things interesting. Yeah, kind of, but not really. It's more of a explanation and what's the word? Experiences. Cause meth is a hell of a drug, but like, we gotta understand the concepts of it, cause there's kind of a misconception of it, and I would like to clarify it. Not because I condone it, not because trying to glorify it or anything, but I'll show you guys. Well, I won't show you anything, but like, I'll explicify the good sides and the bad sides. Mainly the bad sides, because the good sides, there's no good side to drug addiction. That's just fucking bad, you know. But nonetheless, here we go. Getting into the topic. How do you spot? First of all, I'm gonna talk about how do you spot somebody that does this shit? Cause we hide it very well. I mean, I used to, but then I stopped giving a fuck. That's the thing. You, my bad. Yeah, I know. My Wi-Fi ain't that good out here, and it's gonna be laggy. So if you want to wait till afterwards, it's fine. I totally understand. Um, I actually want to review your channel because I went in and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna subscribe. So I subscribed, and I want to review your channel on a different video, which is gonna be right after this one. Mm. So stay tuned for that video. But as far as this video is gonna be a little lengthy, and it's gonna be somewhat laggy if you're on it right now. But you know, um, regardless, to the point. How to spot one? Well, just catch them saying something like "meth is a hell of a drug." Anybody that says that shit has either tried it or is on it right then and there. Okay. Whenever they say meth is a hell of a drug, is because they've tried it. Okay. Only those that say it know exactly what that shit feels like. And they call it shit for a reason. They call it crystal meth. They call it the Khryst drug, for God's sakes. Not too many people call it that because people rather call it shit. But those who actually tried it and like have gone too far actually call it the Khryst drug, and there's a huge reason for it. Okay. You will catch methamphetamines fiends saying this shit just bluntly. I love crystal meth. They just fucking say it. They're joking around, but at the same time, it's fucking for real. That shit's legit. They fucking they love that shit. I mean, god damn. Okay, so essentially, the worst part about it is the fucking come down. Ooh. Not only the fucking come down, because that actually drives your addiction. The come down plus the fact that like you're constantly smoking it. Okay. The thing about it, you could smoke it, you can snort it. I don't fucking snort it. That shit fucking gross. I don't like it. I've never been a cocaine person myself, so I've been more of a smoking type of person. I guess because essentially I smoked weed first, and then cigarettes, and then fucking. No, I'm just kidding. I smoked salvia after that. Now I kind of pulled you guys on chain right there, but I smoked salvia after that, and then I smoked fucking Kalax. So I don't fucking start. So I don't keep saying fucking meth because that's just fucking gross. Just the name, methamphetamine. I don't know. It just seems kind of weird, daunting. But regardless, yeah, the calm down is fucking bad. The fact that you smoke it and you get a high so strong that it lasts 16 hours, apparently, according to some users, it lasts 16 hours. According to drug addiction or whatever, it lasts 16 hours in your system. After 16 hours, it's out. Your brain wants it. It recalls the high very well. They say if you smoke it and you smoke it again within 2 years, you're clinically insane. Clinically insane. Something that you want written down on paper, okay? And I'm only speaking of this because obviously it's fucking out there that people are using this drug, and I've used it, but my error was letting my insanity drive, and I started speaking the truth, and that shit got me into the fucking hospital because people thought that I fucking OD'd, but I didn't, because I was actually off of it. I just didn't know. I didn't know my spiritual aspect was gonna like get involved in that bullshit. But regardless, speaking the truth is the same as fucking smoking crystal meth. Because when you're on meth, you just talk, you talk. So that's burnt. That's how you spot another fucking crystal meth fiend. They start talking a lot. Like I'm talking right now, but I'm not. I'm not on it. I'm just high on life. I'm high on the Holy Spirit. So they will say meth is a hell of a drug. They will say, um, just quirkily would be like, I love crystal meth. I'm just fucking with you, but that addiction is too strong for for a fiend to actually not once say I love crystal meth, because they will say it, they or we, because once a fiend, always a fiend, right? Just know how to control it. That is the issue. I met one in person that has been off of it since I tried it, except for myself. I'll tell you guys a story about how, excuse me, I got really into it. Let's tell it right now. Might as well, right? So essentially, um, when I tried it, I waited, and I got back in line. Essentially, I smoked that shit again a year after, or 2 years after. No. Hold on. I fucking Mandela effect. I can't recall exactly, and I can't recall the number. They say if you smoke it within a year lapse. I did say 2 years, but like my mind is a bit fried right now. Not because of that shit, but because of the I've been up all night. That's another thing. Fiends love to stay up all night because in nighttime you see a lot of trippy shit. And that's part of the high that like kind of keeps addicts, because they just love the psychosis part of it. They love tripping out like, yo, what the fuck was that? Like you start seeing spirits and shit, like legitly. They say that if you're smoking crystal meth, you might as well call your pipe um a wand, because you're essentially turning yourself into a warlock when you're smoking crystal meth. I thought that shit was like fucking like far out. I thought it was stupid, but damn, you you do legitly become a warlock when you're smoking that shit. That's why I love to call it the Christ drug, because it turns you into Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. Give me a second. I need to turn off this shit. As you can see, there are energy pulses. And I love that, because it's nothing greater than the Holy Spirit surrounding you when you're talking about delicate subjects, right? Ding dang. So, essentially, I got into it. I tried it a year afterwards. I was like, fuck yeah. Actually, no, never mind. I tried it a couple months. No, yeah, a couple months afterwards. I didn't feel like it was a couple months. I felt like it was a year afterwards, because a shit ton of calamity was going on. Essentially, I was on the run. I didn't get kicked out of my house, but I felt like it. I didn't get kicked out by my parents either. It was more like I need to get away from here, and there was just some weird vibe that I was just like, I'm out. So I was on the run. Um, I tried it. I tried it with like the most suspicious characters, and I ended up like kind of regretting it. But in the long run, not really, because it basically set off a chain of events that I just did not expect. So then I tried it again. But here's the weird thing, because I tried it once and I was like, okay, it was just one time. And then the next time I tried it, like I tried it again for one time, and then after that was actually a year and a half later. I tried it again, and fuck, I got kind of stuck on it, and I left it for a while. Um, then this is the weird part. I tried it like um again after that. Couple months after that. It wouldn't be a whole year, but I would assume it was close to a year. I tried it again. Um, and this was the weird part. Every time I tried it, it started incrementing. Like, you only try it, and if you try it, and if you find yourself smoking more than 3 days in a row, you've got an issue. You've got to figure out a way to stop yourself unless you want to go through that route. Okay. I'm not condoning drug use, but I do think that everyone has a choice of their own. Okay, so fuck me for saying that everybody has free will, but like if you're gonna tell you, I'm just giving you the okay? You try it once, come back to it, guaranteed. You will fucking come to it. I'm not fucking joking. That shit. That's how fucking strong shit is. So I'm back to it. I came back to it and I tried like 3 days, and every time I came back, it was always 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and then I would just kind of stop and leave. But then I realized I was like, fuck, I mixed up with someone that like does this shit on a almost daily, but he's when I started hanging out with him, which was fucking bad, because then he was like, fuck man, pinche cometa, like you got me fucking high off this shit again. And he's like saying this shit joking around, but like it hits me the heart. I'm just like, fuck you, man, you're the fucking drug addict, you got me into this shit. He was like, like, I'm just fucking with you, and I'm like, sure, all right. But we're buddies, so like I didn't give a shit. Like my drug consumption was because of me, but like the fact that he says, oh, you got me onto this shit again. I'm like, dude, really? You're the one that fucking offered this shit, and you fucking busted out, and then you're like, fucking, let's you smoke shit. And I was like, fuck yeah, dog, like fucking put that shit in the fucking pizzle. So, but he fucking rails it too, so I was like, nah, I'm cool, man. Let's get a fucking light bulb or some shit. Yeah, light bulbs, ghetto, but effective. So, continuing, I put it off for a while, for a good while, for like, excuse me, for this time I put it off for like, no, yeah, it was a year. No, but like it was a very actually it was more than a year. I put it off for a good while for a good reason, because there was this girl that I loved, and like I still love her, but like the feelings changed, like I love her in the way that I want her to be happy, so I don't want to tie her down. And back then I kind of did. I was very ego minded, and that's kind of what drove her away from me. So not the drug use, but the ego mind. So what happens later on? Someone sent me a friend request. Nice. So yeah, getting back to it. Some guy, oh, like, and here's another thing that I didn't want you to see me do. That's for some reason that's a case thrown around with um meth users, or K-Lax users, because essentially I heard that 3 times every time I start smoking with someone else. And it's weird because this thing kind of rips friendships apart, because you start getting into it, and once you actually start paying for it, oh man, that's where like friendships, like, people, your friends will sell you this shit. they'll start selling you because they start needing the money to pay for their own vices. So they start selling you this shit, and you start realizing that they're skimping you out hard, like selling you point 0.1 for $10. And no, I'm not gonna get into how much you could buy for whatever, but point 0.1 for $10, that's scandalous, right? Regardless of how much it's actually worth, because the drug market goes up and down, it crashes. It's the same shit as fucking life's balance. So getting back into it, the more interesting parts. Yep, more interesting parts. I saw Grim Reaper too often. Yeah, that's when you gotta fucking stop, but you don't know what it is exactly. You just feel like it's something spiritual that's like, oh shit. But no joke, the fallen angel, the angel of death, followed me around constantly. And that freaked out one of my friends, but he wanted to like see her and all that, but um he was a bit of a chicken to actually go and like see her face to face. But regardless, I didn't want to see her that day, and I didn't, because I took a stand. I was like, man, fuck that. Oh, and another thing about that friend, he's funny. He's like, man, you lost weight. How do you do it? Like, dude, I smoke crystal meth, and I was like, the fuck? Damn. Are you serious? I was like, yeah, dog. Like, how do you think I lost so much weight, dog? It's like, oh fuck. And I'm joking around like, you should try it. And I was like, nah, fuck no. I'm cool, dog. I'm cool. I mean, like shit, you look good, but damn, like I don't wanna I don't wanna get addicted. I don't wanna smoke crystal meth. I'm like, damn, dude, what happened? What happened to the good old days? Uh, I kicked around with that guy, but yeah, he was my old pothead smoking buddy, and man, we got into some deep shit, but this story ain't about him. So, uh, essentially, I get into a job that got me really into it, like really into it. This companion of mine um started beating around the bush and was like, "Oh, do you smoke like other stuff?" And that's when you know for sure they smoke meth, because they start asking you if you smoke other stuff, and you're like, "Oh, well, weed and cigarettes. What else?" Like, I don't know, something else. Like when they ask you if you do hard drugs, they've done crystal meth, right? So they'll say meth is a hell of a drug. I love crystal meth. They'll say, uh, get down with it. Well, I mean, when they're already talking about it. But they'll say in a joking manner. They never like try to insist to smoke meth. I've only met one person that insisted on smoking meth like 24/7. I was like, fool, I gotta go to sleep. Fuck you, man. I'm gone. And like I said, this shit breaks friendships. And this guy, he was just so out of it, and I was like, dude. And he came, dude, it's the talk, meth talk. Like, not for what he said. He would always say that control. He'd be like, dude, let me drive, and I'm like, dude, I'm perfectly capable of driving my own fucking car. And I was like, no, it's the fucking meth talking, it's the meth talking. Why the fuck are you telling me to smoke more? And I was like, nah, I'm just kidding, smoke more. And then later on, it's like, oh, it's the meth talking, let me drive. I'm like, hi, peace, I didn't get into it. I mean, I was feeling that rage, where you see red and you're like, you want to fucking just duke it out. But I'm like, man, friendship's better. But obviously there was a complication, which is the fucking drug. It rips friendships apart. Sally. I know how to control that shit, but not too many of my friends knew how to control it. That's the sad part. So, I get into it. This friend and this other friend of mine. I've had quite a few meth friends, but there was that one that just couldn't stop himself from you know, letting the meth dictate him. Um, but then there was this other friend that constantly like, yo, hits me up. What up? What you doing? This is nine. Like, oh, what are you getting into? Nine. Like, and then like, and all of a sudden, they would say something like, you down to smoke that other stuff? And I was like, what are you talking about? Oh shit. Oh, damn, Comet getting into it again. I was like, fuck it, let's do it. So we had a mutual thing where like we would smoke, but then we would stop for a good while, like let's say 2 weeks. We would try to like go as far as a month, but we would constantly be like hitting each other up to smoke this shit, basically. One time was like my friend was like Scante Warrior, which is basically, that's another thing. Scante Warrior. When you hear Scante Warrior, they smoked crystal meth, and it's just a funny thing to say because Scante Warrior, and like most people don't know what the fuck that shit means, and if it's like in Spanish, Scante is shit. So that's why Scante Warrior is like you're declaring yourself a crystal meth user, a fiend of that shit, and hey, Scante Warrior. And I was like, all right, and then later on was like, yo, I'm fucking tired. Like my friend was just exhausted in this shit, and it was basically their third hour of staying up too late. And I was just fucking vibing it. I was like, "Yo, let's go this place. Let's go. Let's drive around." I was heavy with the gas. I didn't really care how much I spent on gas. I love driving around on that shit because it puts you very focused and you're just, you know, and contrary to what people think that like if you're drugged out you're not gonna be able to drive. Contrary. So, but here is the issue, because when you do start to kind of come down, it hits you hard and you start to kind of like doze off. So you can get into some real hardcore accidents to smoking this shit and driving. So I would not recommend it, because there have been times where I was just like, like going off the road, you know. So Scante Warrior could not Scante Warrior enough for that day, and I just clowned on them. I was like, but orale tú, like you're Scante Warrior. Just actually, like before we started, what happened to Scante Warrior? And my friend would be like, "Shut up, fool." So it was funny, but like at the same time, it was kind of fucked up. We had a mutual friend, and he started selling to me. That's how I actually got really into it, because I wouldn't find ways to buy it. I would just find people that would buy this shit, and it just kind of invite me, and then I started buying. Keep in mind that this friend has been my middleman dealer for I would say like a year and a half, and then I broke it off, and I started to deal with our mutual friend that that shit brought us together. We I basically knew this friend from way back in the day of Phoenix House rehab center, but I lost contact for such a long time, and all of a sudden found this buddy of mine through a smoke sesh with this mutual friend. And we're like, fuck, dude, long time no see. And it's like, oh shit, damn, it's you. And how you been? And basically doing this and this and that. So then later on, fast forward time, I found a better dealer because I found people that smoke this shit as well, and in the other place that I worked at. And so I changed jobs, and then I got back to smoking again, like a little more hardcore. But it didn't get hardcore till way later. So I was still dealing with this guy, but then later on I kind of cut him off because he would me out way too much, and I would buy more quantity because it would be cheaper, and most case scenario usually is, um, it's the same with anything, it's like Costco. The more you buy, if you buy in bulk, the cheaper it comes out to. Mm. And so basically I find a better deal after I quit my job. I quit my job on a fucking reflex because drama was happening with the girlfriend that I started dating within the work job, and I was just hallucinating things. I would hear my name. It would be like, I was like, what the fuck is that? And yo, I would boom, 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 boom. I would open up every door, and I would like literally, because I'd be taking out the trash, and I'd be like literally like, who the fuck is out here just saying my fucking name, and constantly like, no, Maddie, no, like what the fuck, man, I gotta stay off this drug. But I kept smoking it. So fast forward, I end up quitting, getting fired for going AWOL, and I end up getting fired again from several other jobs through an agency, and then basically I got stuck with the big badass Javo. That's where this shit got fucking interesting, because I was like so hard. Like I considered myself, I was a Scante warrior at that time. I was just like, yo, I can't do this without this, And what this is I'm talking about fucking working 12 to 14-hour shifts daily, 7 days straight, month after month after month. I took my days off like just once every month, but then it got to the point where I was like, dude, I don't see myself taking a day off anymore. I'm just boom, 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 and like constantly. And my manager, he gave me a day off 1 week, and then like I was supposed to start taking off my weekends so I could rest and come back, all refreshed and whatnot. But then got really back into it because they started having issues that drove us, who actually extracted the coffee, to work 7 days straight. So I started working 7 days straight, and everybody gave me props for it. They called me Maniac Manny. Actually, it was Maniaco, because that's in Spanish. Maniaco Manny, and Maniaco is Maniac Manny, right? Maniaco Manny. Doble Manny, pinche Maniaco. That's how they would. Well, not they. I mean, this coworker would greet me. This guy was like, he was a good friend of mine. I consider him a friend of mine. He don't consider me the same shit because I was fucking crazy. I was a lunatic, but he taught me a lot of like straight up, like, this is how it is. I see you like this, and you ain't got discipline, you ain't gonna do shit. And he was right. I ain't got discipline, I ain't gonna do shit. But that got my head working. I was like, dude, he was right. that's what I need. I need fucking discipline. So I started wanting discipline, but like in the form of being able to discipline myself, and I just couldn't do it because I wanted it so bad that I drove myself to get addicted to such a high degree, and that was bad. All right, that was very bad, very poor choice because I bought quantities like fucking. Have you ever heard of an 8 ball? Well, I bought like 5 of those in one transaction. That's how fucking bad it was. So I started buying in huge quantities, so I don't have to be constantly like blah, 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 blah. But I would finish these quantities like within a month, and that's how much I calculated it would take me to smoke it. But then more and more I started kind of like smoking too much too often, to the point where I felt no pulse. Like legitimately, my heart stopped, and I was working, and I couldn't tell anybody. I couldn't be like, dude, I have no pulse. My body started to decay. I was dead. 3 days straight, dead. Hard to believe, but that shit actually fucking happened. I was my coworker was like, "Oh, what the fuck is that smell?" And I mean, I showered before coming to work because that shit smells. It reeks through your pores. So, what the fuck is that smell? Scante boy. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe they farted. Like, yeah, dude, fuck, dude, it smells like shit. Like, legitly, like shit. And I was like fucking checking my shoes because I was like, did I step on shit? Nah, I was on shit. I was a scante word. So essentially, it got down to that. I was just like, man, I gotta fucking stop. Like cold turkey, but I couldn't because I was already fixed on it. So here's the bad things. Smells really bad. Like my feet, they smell good right now. But when I had that shit running in my system, I would just take off my shoes and whoo, damn, your feet smell like ammonia. If you know what ammonia smells like, that shit's fucking raunchy. Yeah, your feet. First of all, your feet will reek bad, and you will sweat. Like you will constantly rip holes through your sock with your sweat. Your socks, you will take them out. You'll be like, you take off your shoes. You're like, damn, I'm fucking sweating. That's another thing. You would sweat, but you would actually sweat blood as well. Not only regular sweat, but you sweat blood. That's just a trip. And here's another thing. There's a reason why it's called the Khryst drug. When people sweat blood, they can channel spirits. Meaning, I could speak for a spirit, and I would start sweating blood. True story. Why? Because blood is oil, and oil has a higher conductancy to electricity, energy. So essentially, it's easier to speak for the Holy Spirit while you're on the Khryst drug. Yeah. Like I said, there's no decency of smoking the Khryst drug, but at the same time, there's a high spiritual aspect to which it's regarded as a bad thing. And I know here's a couple of misconceptions. Khryst will lead you to break everything in your life. No, excuse me. Only those who are angry with themselves will break everything in their life, regardless if they use drugs or not. Alright. Khryst drug will speed things up. Kind of yes and no. There's a misconception because your perception of time speeds up, meaning everything slows down, and you're fast. Like you've got energy way too much in excess that you'll burn this shit, and when you think everything is going to pay, that's flip, you know. Instead of actually speeding yourself up, you slow down and you smoking. You so when you smoke this shit and you chill, time speeds up. But when you smoke this shit and you're productive, time is yourself. Actually, this to work its other misconception. The Christ drug will deteriorate your body, its fluids and muscle mass and bone mass. Nope. At the time, if you let it. But essentially, if you're getting enough nutrition, which you tend to forget because when you're not hungry and you're constantly like distracted, everything. So when you do feel hungry, you're essentially your body's essentially just going, dude, I just ran out of energy. Feed me something. I need to keep going. So your body is essentially alerting you that you need a re-up of nutrition, and a lot of people um, choose poorly, and they choose the scans. So that's where your bone and muscle mass can deteriorate. Can, keyword. Not that it will, but there's a misconception because they say that it will, but no. It makes you sweat, okay? It gives you a higher connection with God, believe it or not. And it does kill you, but slowly. It doesn't like you can OD on this shit and just be dead, but there's a misconception because this is a multiverse. Those who have died already from the Christ drug are not in this universe. They're in a different universe, if I can, clarify that. So that being said, I'm pretty sure I died countless times for other universes. My family is probably one of the luckiest currently because in this multiverse they still have me around. So thanks be to God that I'm not smoking that shit right now. Like I said, don't make promises. I don't want to say that I'm not gonna because then I might gonna, and we don't really want that, right? So another thing, so the whole body deterioration, it's only if you let it. And it's not that I let myself get to the point where I was dying. I was very skinny, but I was powerful. Like you guys don't even know. I was lifting things that I should not be lifting, and I was just fucking running around work like. That's why they call me maniaco. And maniac basically means excess in energy. And I did have a ton of excess in energy, even though I was like passing out. And this shit makes you pass out like hard. You'll be doing something important and you'll sleep standing, and then you'll fall and then realize like, whoa, I just passed out because of this scant. I need to go lie down and like let this shit wear off. Okay, that's the best way to have any drug wear off. Sleep it off, okay? Because this shit stays in your system for quite a while, and it actually took me like a week and a half for my actual body to sweat the whole thing out, and then my feet started smelling normal. Not like I say they smell like fucking daisies, but like at the same time they don't smell like they used to. And when I was on that drug, like, whoo, that shit would reek. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you guys another example of how bad the fucking sweat is when you're on this shit. Okay, you see this right here? Oops. Yeah, See. It's kind of dirty, but it's whatever. It's not like it's dirt, but it's coffee because I'm wearing my old boots from when I was working back in Jabo. So they're comfortable. You just slip them on and whatever's. But I do tend to sweat a lot in them, so I shouldn't be wearing them. But regardless, this right here, whoops, foam, right? It's um like polyester or whatever. It's a weird foam that's it's very durable. Obviously, I still have these in here, so you can see how durable they are. But this shit's kind of peeling off because of the sweat, etc., etc. Now here's the thing. I grabbed I grabbed one of my dad's loafers, and these, but they were more expensive material, more durable. I had one on and I forgot the other one. Not that I forgot it, but like I put on the other one because I had, break my ankle and couldn't put it on because maybe because I had my mom rubbed lotion on my foot, and she told me not to get my dad's loafers dirty with the lotion on and whatnot, etc. So then I had one on and I passed out like that, and I wake up and like I shook him out because like spiders getting in there and whatnot. Like I had taken it off and then I shook it out. Yo, that fucking foam thing, it fucking crumbled. It just came flying out of the shoe. And I was like, what the fuck was that? What was that? And then I was like, oh shit. So then I pull out the sole, the shoe sole, the little where I just showed you guys this shit. I pulled this shit out. It was like sand. It was like clumps of sand just stuck together, but breaking. And I was like, oh shit. And I got the other one. I was like, fuck. And I compared it. I was like, there's no way my sweat could have fucking broke this shit down to that extent. It did. And it was the sconce. It was the Kalax. So very powerful stuff. Like this shit will rip through shreds anything. And you can imagine if it can rip through shreds that fucking plastic and foam, polyester foam, what's it doing to our bodies, yo? It could essentially rip through shreds our own body, but at the same time, here's the weird thing: it cleanses you. Like if I know it's kind of a contradiction where it's like it cleanses you, but like it'll rip you to shreds. No, but here's the thing: it's because you'll sweat that shit. Your body doesn't want it inside you. Although, actually, no, that's a misconception because your body will sweat all the excess. So if you've smoked too much of it, you'll start sweating a lot. Does it constantly make you sweat? No, actually, it doesn't constantly make you sweat. I've proved it. But I did sweat a lot because I did smoke a lot. I was constantly like, oh man, I just love smoking it because essentially you get it and you have it. You don't want to just leave it there. You want to smoke it. You want to keep smoking it, and you're just like, and it gets bad when you actually start chilling and smoking. That's kind of what started cutting friendships off for me because people love chilling on it, and I'm just like, dude, I want to do something. I don't want to be lazy and fucking smoking this shit. This shit gives me so much energy, and I used to be so proactive with this fucking this Khryst drug, and essentially I got boring just like those fucking meth heads that influenced me because they're like, no, where you going? Like, yo, we just smoked this shit. Let's go walking. Let's go fucking. Let's get into some shit. And they're like, nah, dude. It's because you're out there. I'm like, no shit. I don't smoke this shit daily like you guys. And They're like, dude, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't smoke this shit daily like you guys. Like, I'm not like fucking putting down on anybody, but the fact is that the body wants to do something, wants to be proactive so it could use it. Because if it has no use for it, it'll store it. You know, that's what the body does. The body, if it has a use for it, it'll use it, and it'll store what it can't use. That's why the addiction is such a fucking, like, it's such a fucking trip, because like it stores in your body what you don't use, you know. So essentially you gotta let it clean out itself. But you want to keep, like, you get stuck on smoking and you're just like, oh man, actually you get addicted to whatever task you do while you're on it. If you masturbate, like, on it, you'll get so addicted to it, you'll masturbate for fucking 8 hours straight and not bust a single nut. You'll just be like I'm not proud of that shit, but hey, I fucking I gave my snake a fucking Indian burn. What do they call that shit? Those little bumps that you get from like fucking like like rug burn, basically. You know, where it kind of looks like a wart, but it's not a wart. It's more of a like anyways, yeah, like it should happen, yo. Like it was addicting. The highest addiction you could ever try is meth. That's why meth is a hell of a drug, yo. And the higher the addiction when doing tasks, like if you're reading books and you're on that shit, and that's your main addiction, books. Wow, you will read through a library. You'll read them so fast that you'll be like, yo, another, and like, but if like sex is the highest drive for you and you smoke it, that's the first thing you're gonna think about. Pornography, and fucking bam. And I mean, obviously there are some people that can actually, get laid while they're on it, but like for the most part, they get very focused on pornography for some reason, and that's a big issue because I kind of got fired for coming in late, and the huge part about it was the sconce, but it wasn't too much about smoking it. It was more about fucking smoking it and then watching pornography all day. I wouldn't sleep, and I would just watch pornography and fucking, jerk off. And then I'd come in all like fucking like sweating. Like I would take a shower before I leave. Sometimes I would get so into it that I couldn't take a shower. I didn't have time. I would have 5 minutes to go in the shower, and I'm like, no, I need to get on the road because if 5 minutes later, I'll be fucking late. And I started getting late to work, and that shit fucked up my record. So it started to taint my valuable reputation as a hard worker, because what good is a hard worker if he comes in late constantly? I stayed extra hours. So what I do to get past that, I start coming in early. And I was like, all right, so if I come in early, I could get out on time and I could go jack off all night. Yeah, that was my fucking plan. So then I started doing that, and then I started kind of like fluctuating, because last year, summer, everybody who lived in the US knows what the fuck happened. You would feel the negative vibes just boom, just kind of like, damn. And it was the fucking sirens, and I was just like, whoa, dude, what the fuck is going on? I'm just fucking smoking sconce, yo. I'm just smoking sconce and working. That's all I fucking did. I would rarely sleep. Barely. I would sleep like 2-3 hours a day. Like legitimately 3 hours a fucking day in smoking sconce and working 12 to 14 hours a day for like 6 months, seven straight. Wow, dude. And essentially, that's all I needed. I would sometimes, like, I would run out of cash, but not because of the drug, but because of the gasoline. Because I'd be constantly, driving and whatnot, and I would end up kind of hassling my own family because my cash flow was depleting, and somebody was administrating my money, and I had issues because I needed gas money. So fuck it. That's how I was like fuck it. Like something's gotta stop, and I started moving shit around, and essentially I got fired, but in a way I kind of quit because essentially it was my attitude that made me get fired. It made me quit basically. So you stop giving a fuck about anything and everything. The drug, I guess you could say it drives you, but I was driving it to essentially make me a person that just knows what they're doing and decides what they're doing, decides their own outcomes. And that was the main reason why I love to call it the Khryst drug, because it made me so relentless to people's opinions. Like I was just like, oh yeah, that's what you think about me? I give two fucks, motherfucker. How about that? Oh yeah, you give two fucks? Yeah, okay, we'll see about that. We'll see. They didn't want to do shit, man. They'd forget about it later on, but they constantly like fucking stink eye me and shit. I'd be like, fool, gives no fucks, yo. And so essentially, yeah, it made me a ruthless character at that time, but essentially it was my downfall. So here's one thing that's very interesting, because in the that's the Spanish one. In the Bible it says something. I'm gonna read it to you guys because I'm not fucking making this shit up. What the fuck? Okay, so if anyone wants to follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever chooses to save his life will lose it. But the one who loses his life for my sake will find it. What will one gain by winning the whole world if he destroys himself? There is nothing he can give to recover his own self. Huh. Damn, that pretty much explains and clarifies math. And this is off of Matthew 16. Ha, that's interesting. Matthew 16:24 on to 27. Know what the Son of Man will come in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. He will each one according to his deeds. Truly I tell you, some of you will not die before you see the Son of Man coming as a king. Praise be to God forever. Khryst be the king. Okay, Khryst is a hell of a drug, yo. You ever heard that phrase, Jesus freaks? Khryst is a hell of a drug, yo. Well, yeah, so essentially got that. I lost my life, but at the same time I recovered it, because essentially I lived Khryst in essence through my drug use, and it was just so far out, like the trippiest experience. Like this shit doesn't even touch the iceberg, and already an hour in, like, to legitly talk about like every fucking experience that I was on this shit, like, man, I would have to teach like a school, like a 9 to 5 type of thing to teach you guys the experiences one by one that I felt. Like everything was just so climactic. It was such chaos that I fucking loved it because it's fucking life. You still feel when you live life to the fullest. And weirdest part though, that's the only thing I really wanna like weird is was when I had no pulse and I was working. Like I was like lifting up shit, checking my pulse every single time. Like fuck is going on? Like I had no pulse. I was decaying, but I was conscious and moving. So what the fuck is? I don't know. You tell me. You guys wanna interpret that topic as in like the whole dying and fucking being able to work at fucking uh a 9 to 9 shift and shit, like a 7 to 7, basically. Um, let me know because I have no way to explain it other than God just wanted something else for me, you know. It was like that thing that it says in the Bible. Um, it says in Revelations there will be a time where people will want to die, but they won't be able to die. And I was like, whoa, dude, that shit was like, that's legit. This is fucking, this is apocalypse, That book, Revelation, was apocalypse. And the fact that it says that people will wish to die, they'll want to die, but they can't. I was like, whoa, dude. And I fucking died and I didn't want to die, but I died because no pulse. So, let me know what you guys think about that shit because, I mean, it's not every day you hear a guy that just speaks of this shit and it just speaks from the heart and like puts it down as it is and as it was and what actually happened, like dying for no pulse for 3 days straight. How do you explain that shit? How that shit so my psyche can sleep? I sleep crooked, So that is it for this time. Again, meth is a fucking bug. If I could suggest anything, stay the fucking hell away from it, please, because you don't need to go through what I went through. Okay, I don't need the like fucking 1,000 complaints saying that their son fucking OD'd on this shit because my dumbass talked about it, right? Everybody chooses their own outcome, so fuck you if you got any complaints. It's just the story of my experiences, I ain't gonna lick anybody's balls for speaking my mind and speaking my experiences. It is what it is, okay? Or leave it. Sound too aggressive? I mean the way that I be too passive. I'm not passive. Like I'm for what I believe in. That's the thing. It changed my DNA in a way that I like it. I like being passionate about things. Most quiet, they shy away from their actual passion. It's like really like if you're about it, why shy it? Why not be about it? But that's my 2 cents. So, like I said, be mindful, be courteous, be love. This was Purple Pill 50/50. Cometa Reyes, aka Manuel Jesus el Cristalero. And I guess that's why Jesus called me Jesus el Cristalero, because I was dabbling with that shit too much. Maybe not. Who knows? I like to say el Jesus because it so you can see I have quite the anything. It is whatever happen. It's done deal. You know, don't have to worry about it because essentially it doesn't affect you. Okay. Be glad if you never tried it. Be glad if you're able to come off it. Mad props to whoever can actually come off it, because that shit pulls you. It calls. It's oh, come back. Like, it's like, no. It's kind of like fuck logic, huh? Oh, no. my respects to fuck logic. So yeah. Be out there, be of love, show love to everybody that deserves it, because you know, too many people out there already throwing off bad vibes and just like being negative as fuck. So it's up to us to interpret that and actually teach people how to be love. Could you be loved, you know, and be loved? So Cometa Reyes out. That's it for the story. Stay tuned for the next one, because I got stories to tell, y'all. I got major stories to tell. Peace.